All right, let's welcome back to Straight Fire, one of the best college football gamblers on the planet. We had him on preseason. He had a couple of home runs, a couple of whiffs. That's what happens. I mean, we all like Penn State and Texas. Brad Powers, how are you, man?
Doing well. You had to bring up Penn State and Texas.
Yeah, listen, I mean, everybody thought they were going to be good. Hey, but before we get to the games, it's not that appealing of a slate. I'm not going to lie. And probably some of it is colored by what we saw last year in the first round. But real quick, so the transfer portal, I'm sure you've seen these quarterbacks. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the portal. And it's weird because like Notre Dame doesn't need a quarterback. Miami needs a quarterback because Beck's leaving. We don't know about Alabama. We don't know about Oregon. I'm just curious, what are your overarching thoughts when you see like Dylan Raiola enter the portal? Sellers has not, but he could still technically. I mean, anything can happen. But overall, big picture thoughts on the portal and quarterbacks.
Yeah, I would say, I'll go off the beaten path. Number one guy for me, provided he's healthy, is probably Sam Levitt, the Arizona State quarterback.
Really?
Yeah, he'd be the number one guy, even over DJ Lagway, Raiola, you name it. So, but we'll see where he ends up. He's the guy that moves the needle the most for me. Uh, but I'm sure there's a shoe or two that hasn't dropped yet. Whenever money's involved, and Miami being one involved, I never saw Carson Beck going there at this time last year.
Yeah. So what is it about Levitt? I'm looking at Michigan State, Arizona State. He was obviously better last year than this year. I saw that he just blew off the ASU banquet at the end of the year. Just doesn't
Yeah,
give it.
that's not good.
Yeah. So I mean, but why do you like him more than say Rayola and for sure Lagway?
Uh, More mobile than both those guys, believe it or not. He's sneaky good athlete. And to me, it's proven to be a more consistent passer than both of those guys. So
Mm.
I just, provided he's healthy, I think he's got more upside.
My hot take is everybody saw what Texas Tech did, hammered the portal, got to the playoff. Is there value, you think, Brad, in seeing where some of these guys land, looking at the schedules, and then making some kind of long shot bets really quickly? For instance, the team that jumps out, I'm sure you've seen the Penn State schedule. It's easy as hell. There'll be a probably dog once all season, maybe twice. And if they're able to get Levitt or one of the big time quarterbacks, I mean, I don't doubt Matt Campbell could coach that team up. I don't care about the recruiting class. Recruiting classes don't really matter as much, do they?
No, not in one year.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all about stacking multiple ones. Then it
Yeah.
matters. But in one off season, no, a bunch of freshmen are going to change your dynamic as far as a team. Oh, there's absolute value. I mean, Tech you kind of see coming a mile away if you're paying attention. I mean, Texas Tech of all teams, number one transfer portal class. Certainly they were mispriced. In January, February, and hell all off season long. So yeah, I'll be looking to hopefully take advantage of that. I do like Matt Campbell. I will say I don't know if he's a huge upgrade over James Franklin.
Oh,
So
really?
I'm not let's see how the roster shapes out. They're gonna have to go heavy in the portal.
Heavy, heavy, heavy for sure. Real quick, Michigan. The Sherrod Moore story is crazy. I mean, you don't want to kick a guy when he's down, but hooking up with someone on the staff for 2 years, giving her a raise, then just going like crazy on her and getting arrested. It's over. I don't. It's weird. It sounds like everybody's waiting for the GM to get fired, and no coach is going to take that job seriously until they determine what happens with the AD. Right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know how he still has a job considering all the, stuff
Mhm.
that's happened with that program the last 5, 6 years. It's not the football program. I mean, the basketball program,
Oh, the
didn't
Juwan
have
Howard stuff.
yeah, I mean, that wasn't
Oh,
great.
yeah.
The hockey team had some issues as well.
Wow.
So, I mean, we'll see. I think, Kalen Deboer is the name that we've heard.
I
I
don't
think if he
know.
loses to Oklahoma, which is definitely a possibility, Oklahoma's a slight favorite. I
You think he
think
just bolts for Michigan?
I could say it's definitely a really distinct possibility.
Wow. That I mean, by the
He's
way, they
just a
got to make
better
a
fit
decision.
for him personally at Michigan than he is at Alabama.
But why is he not a good fit at Bama? The personality, the what?
Personality, never really been from that area of the country before.
Mm,
Uh, you know, I don't think he's going to get tar and feathered at Michigan like he is at Alabama if he happens to lose
that's
this game
fair.
against Oklahoma.
Um, Underwood. Do you think Underwood would stay if they get DeBoer, or would he bounce if
Yes,
they
I
get like
think
a
much
Jesse
more.
Minter?
Yeah, I certainly got. If you want to keep Underwood, you probably got to go out more offensive mind.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's get to the games. We'll start with Alabama, Oklahoma. Not gonna lie, Brad. I'm disappointed Notre Dame's not in the field. This game does nothing for me. The first game was boring as hell. Alabama turned it over a lot. A lot of hype about the Oklahoma defense and Venables. I don't know, but hearing you talk about DeBoer makes me wonder if maybe there's one eye on the Michigan job and building a staff there and one eye on Oklahoma.
First off, let me agree with you. I mean, the whole bowl schedule is the worst I've ever seen. The
Terrible.
playoffs, including at least the first round. I mean, I'm kind of waiting for the quarterfinals, but these 4 games are a major bummer. You put Notre Dame in there, mix and match a little bit, had a lot of better matchups. As far as this one goes, I mean, obviously you got to look at the data point with the two teams already playing. I mean, Alabama should have won. I bet Oklahoma in that game won, but
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you, Alabama should not only won the game, they should have covered the game. So it's tough for me to overlook that. Alabama's getting healthier. They had 8 starters out of the SEC championship game. It speaks somewhat to them, maybe as an excuse of why they got beat so bad. Jam Miller's the outstanding running back for them. He's back. I think that's a big time bonus. I'll disagree with a little bit of the movement. I mean, I'm not going to overreact crossing through 0 here. That's not that big of a deal. I lean Alabama, but I got to be honest with you. If this was just a game on a regular Saturday with 50 other games, I'm not sure that I'd find too much value here. I probably wouldn't have a bet on it.
It just doesn't. It's not a great game. It's kind of boring. I mean, I got a buddy.
Well, the total 40.5. Yeah, I mean that's not going to bring in college football casual. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know how many holiday parties you're going to this weekend, but like this is probably not even like a top 5 college or NFL game this weekend. It's a playoff game. It's just I'm not that into it. Now, I will say I don't know if you know, I graduated from JMU. I went to Virginia Tech for a couple of years in JMU to finish out. So, and I actually think they're live to cover 21 and a half. I know everybody's going to point to, oh, well, Oregon's a machine. They can win it all. I don't really care about that. I just look at this JMU coaching staff as one of the better, most underrated groups in the entire playoff. And I do think Oregon kind of goes through the motions. Oh, we're playing JMU. And they probably jump out to like a 24-7 lead. But covering 21, I'm just not sure they pull it off. Weather looks like it's going to be an issue. Or you have anything on this game?
Yeah, I bet Oregon. And, yeah, I like Oregon quite a bit. I love Bob Chesney. I mean, I go back to the Holy Cross days. I can go back to a game where one of the best coaching jobs I saw, he had them, beating South Dakota State in a playoff quarterfinal like 3-4 years ago. I couldn't have been more impressed. With that being said, Oregon's coming off probably their 2 best wins of the season, USC, Washington, to close out the regular season. That they finally showed me something there. And they did it without 2 of their starting wide receivers who are both back. Plus Evan Stewart who was going to be a first team preseason All-American. He's missed the whole season. He might play in this game. So I think the offense has a little bit, hopefully an extra gear. They're going to need it to cover this big number. I mean, the market says you're right, though. I mean, it went up to 21 and a half. I mean, it's come down to as low as 20 and a half in spots. Total's way down because of the weather. I'm not afraid, though. Oregon first half, Oregon team total over 34 and a half, and I'm laying it.
Wow.
JMU hasn't. Look, I respect the coaching staff.
They haven't played anybody. I get it.
I mean, really haven't played anybody. They played one top 50 team and they lost by 14. Now, I watched that game. They were more competitive than a 14-point final, but I mean, Louisville and Oregon are night and day compared to one another. And plus the atmosphere in Autzen, they haven't played in front of anything like that.
All true. I do wonder, do you think the Ducks get not caught looking ahead, but there's a lot of steam behind Texas A&M. Or sorry, not Texas A&M, Texas Tech plus like 800 to win the title. Well, Texas Tech, amazing defense. That game's going to be amazing against Oregon. I feel like there's just no chatter about JMU.
I think, as I'm talking through this and, the evolution of the handicap, I hear you on that. I probably prefer Oregon first half, and Dan Lanning has more of a past history of jumping on teams. He's not a guy that tends to pour it on, but I think that the best bet that I could offer, at least the best piece of advice, would be Oregon first half to avoid all that.
Remember when Oregon had to bye last year and they faced, was it Ohio State in the Rose Bowl? And they were down like 38-0. Yeah, obviously, Ohio State's a machine. I don't. At the time off is tough to handicap, but maybe that's just the homer in me talking. A&M Miami. I don't really know what to do with this. I don't like Miami a lot, but I did take the 3.5.
Yeah, you're not alone. No one really I've talked to has taken A&M yet. Market hasn't. It's another game where, it's a good game.
Not a lot.
It's just, if it was, on a regular Saturday slate, I looked at the line, the total, I probably wouldn't have much interest. Pass, I'll watch it, but I don't think there's much value. A couple of sharp guys that I respect, attack the under, particularly the first half under. That I thought was a pretty smart play. You can still find some 24.5 out there with some heavy juice. I am waiting though. I'm gonna lay 3 with A&M. Not that I
Oh,
love it. I'm keeping it simple. I
mm.
think Mike Elko's a better coach than Cristobal. And again, you think Miami big time program, but they have not played in an atmosphere of Kyle Field in years. I
Fair.
mean,
Yeah.
I think that the largest crowd they played in front of this year was like 67,000 at the Doak. I mean, this is gonna be 107,000. So I'm just lean A&M for me.
Yeah.
Not a big
Where
bet.
are you on the whole leak? Aggies kind of leaking oil. Last 3 games, you removed Samford, who gives a shit. But
Yep.
South Carolina, they were down, what was it, 30-3 or something, stormed
Yep.
back to get the win. And then against Texas, they were really outclassed on the road. I don't know. Have teams seen stuff on tape that, Elko's not disguising? I don't know why they've been so putrid. And I do wonder that home field advantage, does it matter as much for, like, what is it, a noon kickoff or
That's true.
1 p.m.? I
Fair
don't know.
point. Uh, I think it has to do with I think they're a little overrated, to be honest with you.
No.
So I mean, they played one team in the SEC with a winning record. That was Texas. Look what happened in that game. So, yeah, it's not that I'm like, ooh, I'm betting A&M because I love A&M. It was more of an anti-Mario Cristobal type play.
Yeah, he's no
I
good.
guess my biggest, I'm waiting anxiously. I hope it plays close to the spread, where I can, maybe a team gets overrated with it being a blowout. I'm looking to fade the winner of this game. I'm going to be heavy on the Buckeyes.
Yeah, yeah. I would totally agree with that one. I don't even do we need to talk Ole Miss Tulane? I don't even think that game registers. Everybody and their mom I know is on Ole Miss. This is a rematch. This is another crappy game, man.
Yeah. The fact that we've already seen it, it's already crappy. We've already seen it 45-10. It was a
Yeah.
legit 45-10 too. Ole Miss outgained them by 300 yards. I think anytime you're backing a favorite, what's the motivation for margin? I think Ole Miss plays a little bit with a chip on their shoulder with Kiffin leaving
Mhm.
them, acting like he's too good for them. Atmosphere will be better this go around than the first time these two met. Uh, I certainly lean Ole Miss. I don't even have Tulane in the top 50 of my power ratings.
Oh
That's how bad of a
gosh.
G5 team this
Yeah.
is. I like their head coach, but they're completely overmatched here. And I'll say this: speaking, I'm a college football guy. This won't even be on my main TV at that time frame. The FCS playoff game between Montana and
Come
Montana
on.
State's a better game than this.
Wait, do you have
Way
money on
better.
that?
Yeah, I can lean towards Montana State. They've
Wow.
taken some money in the market here.
Can you name one player on either team?
Yeah, I can name.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so
That's
yeah,
impressive, dude.
yeah.
Montana. I'm thinking Montana State in the NCAA tournament. I think I bet them and they did not cover or come close. It's weird. Like there's a world where Ole Miss, like you said, motivational spot, heavy, and they kick their ass, and then they come out and get smashed by Georgia in 2 weeks, right?
Georgia. If I had to bet a look ahead line, you can bet that game right now. Georgia minus 5.5 is a
No,
bet to
that's
be
it.
made. Yeah, that's it. That's a bet to
That's
be
that's
made.
gonna adjust. Oh my gosh, that's an empty the bank, right? I mean, well, you never want to empty the bank, but you know what I'm like a
Yeah, it's a
kid's
really
college
good
tuition
bet. I
fund.
can tell you that.
So then second round, it's like you have Buckeyes over whoever, Bulldogs for sure.
I like Oregon to make a run. So I like them to
Oh,
beat Tech. Again, Tech hasn't played anybody. The weakest strength of schedule of any Power Four team. And I don't. It'll depend on the number. I just think SEC fans are going to be stunned at the Indiana line. They're going to be favored by a touchdown over the winner of the Alabama Oklahoma game. That's how much the market hates those two teams.
well, they're not good. Wait, Indiana will be favored by a touchdown?
A touchdown.
Now, I will say I saw a Brad Powers take on the interwebs about you not liking Fernando Mendoza. I don't know if the Hoosiers are coming after you in full force. Well, I'm wearing my Jets shirt as we record this. What do you not like? I'd kill for Mendoza. Just looks like such a great human being and a damn good quarterback.
Yeah, he's a good human being, good size. He's kind of I mean, Signetti's system just turns out it doesn't matter who's behind center. I'm sure the reasoning that I was, putting some digs there was, last 7 years, Signetti's starting quarterback at all these different spots. It's been first or second team all conference, 6 different quarterbacks. 4 of them been conference player of the year. And I mean, it hasn't been a who's who of talent. It's just, he's that good of a coach. And I think whoever drafts Mendoza is probably looking for a job within 3 years. Nothing against the kid.
Wow. Interesting. Now, I didn't check in with you on Diego. Is it Pavia, the
Yeah.
Vanderbilt quarterback? Do you think he's a pro? Because I'm sure you saw his comments after he didn't win the Heisman.
Yeah, I think I think he's a poor man's Johnny Manziel. That's what I think of him, both on
So
the field and off the field. So
yeah, I
you saw
mean,
that blow up
covering
with,
machine.
he's not going to make it in the pros.
Yeah, he's definitely not a pro. Interesting. I'm assuming you think Oregon could take down Indiana then in the semifinals.
Yeah, a bet that I made was I bet Oregon 3-1 to make the national championship game. Now I tend to lean towards the winner of that Ohio State Georgia game winning the title, but I do think Oregon makes a run. You can bet them like 3-1
Hmm.
to make the championship. You don't need them to win it. You can hedge then.
So are they perhaps undervalued because of all the injuries and still winning, and now they're getting healthy?
Yeah, I think so. Again, the wide receiver position being a cluster injury, I think and I look if you're going to ask me what quarterback do you want to draft? I think Dante Moore's the top
Yeah.
quarterback.
Do you
So
think
I
he's
just
coming
think there's
out?
an upside. Not that I think he's had a better year than Mendoza, but
Hmm.
I just think his skill set's going to transition better to the NFL in my opinion. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think you got a high value there. And plus, I'm not buying Tech. And as much as Indiana's a good story and they beat Oregon in the first matchup, I think Oregon's more talented and just has a higher upside across the board.
So you think an Oregon Ohio State final?
Yeah, with the Buckeyes winning.
So it's like the Big Ten world now. We're all living in it,
Yep.
huh? I mean, it's crazy how things have changed. Where do you land on the whole? Hey man, when it comes to the NIL era, the smart schools with rich graduates have way more impact and influence when it comes to the bank than the SEC schools. I mean, so I'm not
It
bashing
comes down
Alabama,
to
but yeah,
it
we
comes
don't have
down
any
to money and the big.
CEOs. Yeah,
It hasn't changed since the Civil War. I mean, the North has more money than the South.
right.
And obviously, Oregon's got money because of Phil Knight.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's become, look, everybody was paying somebody, but it was obvious the SEC was paying more than others. So now that it's all legal and out there, I mean, all you really have to do is go look at the endowments, the Michigans, the Notre
Mm-hmm.
Dames, the Ohio States of the world rank way higher in endowment than Alabama's of the world. Texas A&M's up there and they're having their best season in 30 years.
It is interesting. So essentially, everywhere outside of the SEC is going to improve and level up, and the SEC seems to be not going down. Now, if they lose DeBoer, coupled with not winning the national championship or maybe a all Big Ten final, I don't want to write the eulogy for the SEC, but I mean, are we going to see major changing the guard if we haven't already?
Well, I think we've already seen it, but a third
Wow.
year would probably slam dunk. And look, I still think the SEC is by far the best conference. It's just at the very top of the sport. Nick Saban's not, unretiring. Urban Meyer's not there, and what made them so tough was at the line of scrimmage, the depth pieces. Their, next 22 was so much better than everybody else in college football. It's just not there anymore. When Tech can go out and buy a roster, a good defensive line, we just never seen that. So I think it'll be more of the same. It just not that the SEC won't ever be dominant again, but we're not going to see the 15-year run that they had from like 2005 to 2020.
Oh, hell no. Yeah. Well, what about Clemson? What are you hearing on Dabo? Let's just do the dominoes. Kalen goes to Michigan. Do they pluck Dabo, however you say it, and he goes to Alabama?
Possible. He needs to change, but he needs to change personally, not just
Yeah.
maybe a change of scenery, but he needs to, because I mean Clemson's recruiting, everything's going
Yeah.
downhill. It's not like a one-off where they disappointed. No, it's been trending down now for 4 or 5 years. I think Alabama would be fine with that hire. They'd be excited at first, but I wouldn't be saying, "Ooh, Dabo's gonna win 2 more national championships."
It's interesting because at the beginning of the season, it was all about Cade Klubnik and Nussmeyer. Bro, none of those guys are going first two, or even, I don't even think top three rounds. Do you? Nussmeyer got benched at LSU late in the
Yeah,
season.
I don't see either one going the top 3 rounds. That's
It's
how
weird. Yeah.
the Duke quarterback now looks like he's going to be the quarterback 3.
Okay. So is he definitely coming out? I
Hasn't
mean,
it hasn't been official yet, but looks like he is gonna. He even got surprised by the early feedback that he's got is like, yeah, you're going to be the third quarterback. So it shocked me because I bet Duke in the bowl game didn't think, the men's is
oh.
not the guy I'm thinking, oh, he's going to leave for the pros because he's got such a good NIL deal. But now I think sometime this week he'll announce he's leaving for the draft.
So interesting because if you look at the last three NFL drafts, so Bryce Young went first. He's definitely not the best quarterback in his class. Caleb Williams went first. He's definitely not the best. And then this past year, Cam Ward, I like him, but he has not been close to the best quarterback drafted. So like going one is a kiss of death because you go to a crap franchise, and
Yeah.
falling down actually benefits. I mean, I'd rather
Yes.
get taken by McVay in the second round than any of the jokers drafting in the top 10, right?
Agree. And we just haven't had that, that quarterback that can overcome, the generational type that can overcome getting drafted by a terrible franchise. So
Somebody was
CJ Carr next year will be that guy though.
Oh, Notre Dame guy. Yeah, everybody likes him. Somebody was trying to sell me on the Baylor quarterback. Big,
No.
strapping dude, looks the part. Sawyer Robertson.
Yeah, if you're taking him fourth or fifth round.
You take a flyer on. I mean, he started for
Yeah, I'd
multiple
take a
years.
flyer on him. Yeah, I mean, fourth or fifth round. He's not a day one or day two pick.
No, I mean, like seeing a Tyler Shuck actually look competent. I know it's only been a few weeks, and he might win offensive rookie of the year for all we know. But like just seeing that, it's like, oh, geez, well, hell, if that guy can succeed, I didn't think he'd be any good. Did you?
Shuck? Yeah, I might have some video on, did not just saying it now after the fact, but I that was the guy I liked the most in last year's class, believe it or
Whoa,
not. Yeah.
that was your QB1 over Dart and
Not
Ward.
QB1, but the guy,
Oh.
like, if we're talking ROI, I think the best bang for your buck, yeah, it was him.
Wow, that's a good call by you. All right, Brad Powers, there's the picks. Hey, man, have a great holiday, great season, and we'll catch up with you, buddy.
Thanks for having me.